Pennsylvania. We'll begin with opening remarks from Coach Rahne, and then we'll take questions for Coach and for the student athletes.
All right. Well, first of all, on behalf of Dr. President Hemphill, Dr. Seelig, Javon, and Jason, just like to thank Commissioner Gill for putting on first-class operation. I think this is just a sign of, what this conference is all about. We have the best Group of 5 conference in the country, and I don't even think it's close. The numbers indicate that, and this type of operation kind of shows it. So, we're excited about this season. We have 41 new scholarship players, 58 total new players on our team, which is quite a interesting challenge to integrate those players. But I think our leaders, like Jason and Javon, have really taken those guys and assimilated them into our culture pretty quickly. So I'm excited about what those guys are going to be able to bring to our team. We play 2 ACC opponents, open up against Virginia Tech. A nice battle of teams within Virginia, which is going to be great. Later we welcome Wake Forest to our stadium, SB Ballard Stadium, which is going to be awesome. Last year we had, average attendance of over 19,000, and we're looking to try to equal or better that this year. So I'm excited about what we're going to have here, and I think, our team is too. We've had a great summer, working hard, and now it's ready to get to football. So I am known for short opening statements, and that was probably the longest one you will ever get out of me in the history of Old Dominion football. So I'll open it up for questions.
We'll now take questions for Coach Rahne and for the student athletes. For those of you in the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand and wait for a microphone to come to you. Since we are going out live, please state your name and media affiliation before asking your question. And for those of you on Zoom, please type your questions into the chat, and I will read them aloud.
Hi, Jackson Ebner from The Breeze. You mentioned you're starting off the season with Virginia Tech, and it's one thing when a Group of 5 team plays a Power 5 team, but it's another thing when, you have 2 teams from kind of those 2 separate, tiers, if you want to call them that, who are playing each other so regularly. Are you guys sort of developing a bit of a rivalry with the Hokies at this point?
Well, we do play them 10 years in a row. And quite honestly, that's a testament to them. Earlier this year, there's a lot of talk about, spring games and all sorts of different things and that sort of thing. And very bluntly, I was against that because our in-state programs play us. We played Virginia Tech last year. We played Virginia last year. We played Liberty last year. And then obviously JMU is in our conference. So we get to play 4 teams from the state of Virginia last year. This year, we have 3 road games where we never leave the state of Virginia. So, we're lucky and we're blessed to be able to play that. Obviously, I have a long-standing relationship with Coach Pry, their head coach there, and so that's something that is an important game for us. I love it because everyone always wants to talk about that game, and I only like to talk about the next game. So it's our first game, so I get to talk about it for the whole offseason, and then I never get to talk about it again, which is great for me. So, I'm excited to play them. I know our student athletes are as well, to go to a place like Blacksburg and play and get that opportunity. But first, we know our most important thing right now is camp. And right now our opponents are making sure we're the best Old Dominion team we can be.
A Zoom question on a similar subject for Coach. With the rise of James Madison to the FBS level and Old Dominion's upset over Virginia Tech, how do you see the recruiting landscape in Virginia changing?
Well, I think I don't want to speak for JMU or any other programs in the state of Virginia, but one of our challenges is making sure that we're competing against outside sources and keeping our players in the state of Virginia. There have been other teams that have come in and done a pretty nice job and built championship-level teams with players from within the state. So, I know it's been an emphasis for all of us to make sure we try to keep as many home as possible, and I think we've done a great job. Obviously, Javon is from right in Norfolk, and we're excited to have more of those players and and we've got a bunch of players from Virginia. I think one of our areas where we really are doing a nice job is we get some great walk-ons from the state of Virginia, and those guys have earned scholarships. One of the young men competing for our starting quarterback job, Jack Shields, was a walk-on who's earned a scholarship, and he's done a great job, and he's from Virginia. So we're going to continue to battle, and we're going to, work to win as many of those battles as possible. The other area where we have done a lot of that is trying to get the transfers to quote-unquote come home, and that's another area where we continue to work on.
And Foot from Acadiana Advocate. We've been hearing for 2 days about the difference between losing and winning all these close games in a competitive conference like the Sun Belt. As you reviewed last season, what were the things that kind of stood in the way from y'all doing that's been a big focus of the offseason?
Really, it was probably consistency. We weren't as consistent on offense as we needed to be. We were still one of the top teams in the country in terms of creating explosive plays, but we didn't score enough points because we weren't consistent enough. We weren't consistent enough on first down, which it hampered us on third down. And then that led to our defense playing too many plays. Our defense played very, very well, but again, on third down, we didn't probably play our best football there. So again, it led our defense playing too many plays, and it wore us down, and then that's where some of those games, close games at the end. We were in a lot of close games last year, and obviously our record was not what we wanted it to be. But if you look at it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 plays away. Obviously, everyone likes to point to the fourth quarter and those plays that happen there. But the big plays, I always tell our team, you don't know when the biggest play of the game is going to happen. It might be the third play of the first quarter. It might be the last play of the game. So, you've got to be able to play each moment as if that's going to be the biggest play of the game, and that's where our 1-0 mentality comes in. That play, win that rep, and so obviously it's something that we've got to continue to focus on and harp on. But I think, we're making strides on that.
Got a Zoom question for Javon and Jason, and also you, Coach, from Brian Smith with WVEC-TV in Norfolk. What improvements have you seen from the spring up until now with the regular season start just a little bit over a month away?
Javon, go ahead.
Some improvements that we've seen from the spring has been coming together as a whole team. Like taking events outside of football and coming together, getting to know each other, and that contributes to the trusting the individual beside you when you go to war. On Saturdays, our games are fights, they're battles, they're wars, and knowing that you can depend on the person beside you is a huge aspect of winning football games.
I'm going to have to kind of piggyback off of that. Something that I've been very proud of with this team this summer is, just the brotherhood that we've kind of been able to build. Coach Rahne said it, we have 58 new kids on this roster. And obviously that's a tough challenge to kind of get everyone kind of wrapped up in our culture and stuff. But I think between the leadership on our team and the coaching staff that I think we've done a great job, putting them under our wings and kind of welcoming them and making them feel at home. So, when it comes to game day, we're all ready to trust each other, put our backs against the wall, and kind of just do what we need to do to come out with a win.
I'd kind of echo those two guys, and I think it's player buy-in. And one of the things is, I'm not going to say exactly what it is because I think it's an internal thing, but essentially the guys came up with 3 things that they wanted our team to be known as, and one of them is basically, explosive and making plays. The next one would be to be tough and gritty. And then the last one was to have a family atmosphere. And I think that our team has bought into that because they came up with it. And I think that I've seen that. I think it's led to more confidence across the board. I think it's led to more accountability across the board. And ultimately, I'm pretty certain it's going to lead to more success.
Kobe Jackson, coming to you from KTSW Sports. I have a question mostly for the players. Talk about the intensity level that you guys have during spring ball. How is that going to relate to what y'all do in the regular season, possibly later on down the Sun Belt Conference?
That's a huge aspect. And it starts with our coaches for real. Like our strength coordinators, our strength coaches, they're pushing us to our limit. Our workouts are intense, and it's putting us in uncomfortable positions to make us comfortable.
I have to agree with him. I mean, between, the lifting and the conditioning during the summer, those are probably some of the quote-unquote hardest things that you're going to do in your life. But, the players, they embrace that. They know that being able to complete those things is what's going to make us a winning team. And, our coaches, they're going to put us through a practice to make sure, that we're all healthy and stuff, but still that, we're getting the kind of conditioning and stuff that we need for football during a game and stuff like that. Just so our bodies are, capable of making it through a whole game and being able to play continuously throughout the season and stuff like that.
Kelly Sanders, Super Talk, Mississippi, the Southern Miss Golden Eagle Hour. Jason, for you, congratulations on all your individual success. Well deserved, but as you continue to progress as a player, on the individual side, what are you working on your individual skill set? Because you obviously, may have a future in this game as long as you want to play. I just wonder, on your individual skill set, what are some things you might be working on, especially with the high level of success that you've already had?
Some of the things that I have to work on, is just my mental piece of the game. Being able to play under Coach Seiler, our defensive coordinator, is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to me as a football player. He does a great job kind of stressing, understanding the bigger picture on a defensive scheme and stuff like that, and, being able to understand everyone's job on the field. So that's something that I've been able to really work on that I think has helped me improve since last season and things like that. And just kind of, simple technique things, tight footwork, being able to read a play, reading the backfield, feeling the line, kind of things like that.
Got a related Zoom question from Reese Becker, also for Jason. You were named the conference Preseason Defensive Player of the Year. How much pride do you take in being a constant force in the middle of that defense?
Very thankful for everything like that, but it's just kind of something I come to do every day. I don't really try and think about all that stuff too much because that'll tend to kind of lead people to think about the wrong things. And, being able to be a leader in the middle of the defense, I love our defense. Our defense takes pride in everything that we do. So, kind of being able to be in the middle of it is great because, I know that what I'm putting on for my team is kind of what people are going to tend to follow. And as long as I'm doing the right thing, then I think our defense will be pretty set up.
Coach Rahne, Emmanuel Pappas, Sunbelt Conference. Just wanted to get you to talk about a couple of the additions to your coaching staff and Coach Decker and Coach Huddle and what they bring to your program.
Yeah, well, we were able to bring in a new offensive coordinator, a new offensive line coach they'd actually worked together last year. They put up obscene numbers, quite frankly. And, it was pretty awesome to bring those guys in. I think the number one thing that they've brought to our program is a confidence. They're both very confident people, and that confidence is earned through their preparation and things like that. It's not a cockiness, it's a confidence. And it's rubbed off on the rest of our offensive players. It's rubbed off, I even think, on our defensive players who have a lot of confidence in our offense and what's going to happen this year. And I'm excited to watch, what our offense can be this year. Obviously, we have a lot of new players. We're going to have a new starting quarterback. We'll have, a lot of different pieces that are going to be in there. But, I think that also breeds a lot of opportunity for guys to have excitement on what their impact can be on the team this year.
Got a Zoom question from David Hall of the Virginian Pilot, and this is for Coach Rahne and for Javon and Jason. The obligatory preseason question about being picked last in the division. What are your thoughts?
I'll let these guys go first.
It's preseason rankings. I mean, we don't really pay too much into it because our whole philosophy is going 1-0 and being where our feeder is.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, a list is just a list at the end of the day. I mean, last year we saw at the preseason rankings, we're not anywhere close to what the end of the season rankings were. And, kind of what Javon said, at ODU, we harp on going 1-0, basically meaning, good or bad play, you kind of just forget about it, move on because there's the next play coming your way. So that's kind of the thing that we focus on the most and not really whatever people are trying to say about us.
We recognize that it's a results-oriented business. And, we know that we didn't play the way we wanted to last year. We didn't coach the way we wanted to last year. So we get another opportunity. And so we're excited about that. That's what makes this game so great, is we get to go out there and actually show what's on the field. The preseason, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be picked in this place and that place, and I think what it shows is that football is the most popular sport in our country and one of the best things we got going, because people want to find ways to talk about it. They're going to make up things so that they can talk about football just one extra day, just one extra second. And that's what all these, prognostications are all about, is just how great the game of football is. But ultimately, it's about what happens on the field, what happens in between those white lines. We haven't changed the football dimensions in I think we're going on 130-some years, and it's what happens in between that 53 and a third. So that's what's going to be the important part.
Also got a Zoom question from Zach Staten, and this is for all three of you again. With so many new pieces to work in, is it a bigger challenge to work those guys in scheme-wise or to get team chemistry where it needs to be?
Well, I'll start with that. I think you have to have team chemistry before the scheme-wise even matters. You guys have got to trust each other. I mean, everyone can know what to do, but if you don't trust the man next to you that he's going to do his job, you don't believe in his ability, you don't believe in his character, then it's not going to matter if he knows what to do. So I think the chemistry-wise is the number one thing, which is why I've been so proud of how our leaders have incorporated our guys. I mean, they've been humble enough to allow some of those new guys to take on leadership roles. We have some of our guys who have only been there 2-3 months who've really taken on leadership roles already. And I think that shows a lot of, our players who were here last year, how humble they are and how they just want to win. And so I think that that's been just an unbelievable thing to witness.
I'm going to have to agree with that as well. I think chemistry absolutely has a lot to do with the schematic parts of it. I could speak from experience. When I came in as a freshman at ODU, I'd have to say I probably had the best room of guys to walk into, because from day one they were able to make me feel comfortable, make me feel like, I was their teammate, I was their brother. And from that standpoint, I was comfortable enough myself to be able to ask questions about the defensive scheme or, what's going on. And being able to have that allowed me to obviously learn the schematic more, but also become a better player. And being able to experience that as a freshman has been awesome for me, because obviously I was able to take that, and now being in a bigger leadership role, I'm able to do that with all the newer people too.
For me, I believe that team chemistry makes everything else easier, because you can trust each other. I could go to my guy for help. If I'm having trouble with something, I know I can rely on him. It's just all a source of being dependent on each other.
From David Hall of the Virginian Pilots, for Coach, what is the status of the quarterback position, and how close are you to identifying a starter?
Well, first of all, I love that I have to fly 3 hours down to New Orleans to answer a quarterback question from David Hall. That's always good. Our status is the way it has been. We have a competition going on between Grant Wilson and Jack Shields. One of those guys is going to grab it, and he's going to make it so that we don't make that decision, that they make the decision for us by grabbing that thing, and taking it. I think that when you watch those guys compete, it's been really impressive. They live out one of our core values, which is compete. But you watch those guys, and they cheer for each other. They are really, really good friends. They work together very, very well. And they just want each other to be successful, because they know that's going to make our team successful. So I'm excited, actually, about our quarterback room. Coach Decker's done a great job of building that room and building a unity in that room that has made it so it's not divisive, but it rather unifies our team.
And a Zoom question again for Coach, and also for Jason on the defensive unit. You could wind up with a lot of new starters in the secondary. How did that group gel during the spring, and is that your biggest area of concern?
I wouldn't say it's an area of concern. I mean, I think that we have a lot of talent in the secondary. I think we're deeper at corner than maybe we've ever been since I've been there. I think we're deeper at safety than we've been. So it's not an area of concern, but it is an area where, some of those guys, maybe they weren't even there during the spring, and they are going to have to come up, and they are going to have to get going. That's where camp is going to be really, really important. Every single day, every single practice, every single play, every single meeting is going to be critical. And the communication and that camaraderie is going to take hold. So I wouldn't say it's a concern, but it's certainly an area that I'm excited to watch those guys grow and develop each and every day.
I'm going to agree with that as well. I wouldn't say it's a concern either. And one thing I will say about our secondary is kind of what Coach said with the depth. You know, we do have a lot of guys there, but my favorite part of that is, you know, there's not much difference of skill-wise between maybe the 1 or the 2 or the 3. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys that, you know, whether someone gets hurt, someone needs a break, doesn't matter who we throw out on that field for our secondary. I know whoever's out there is going to be able to get the job done and do what they need to do to help the team win.
I would echo that throughout the whole team. I think our team is deeper. I think the competition from 1 to 3 is much improved than what we've had. I think it's going to make us better on special teams. I think it's going to make our practices better. I think it's going to make us a better team in general.
Coach, one more question from David. A non-quarterback question from 3 hours away. 30 MLB ballparks down, 120 minor league parks to go. How glad are you to have completed that tour?
Well, we won't do the minor league stadiums, but yeah, my family and I just completed. We did all the stadiums. We actually did 31 because we did Atlanta twice. Because we did Turner Field in their last season, and then we went back. So it was an awesome experience to be able to go to all those parks with my family. You know, the fact of the matter is it was a way to trick my boys into spending time with me. You know, and probably my wife into spending time with me too. It was awesome, and my wife did an unbelievable job. She made every place so special because she put little things with it, whether we went hot air ballooning in Arizona, we went whitewater rafting, we went rock climbing, we had a penguin adventure where we fed penguins because my youngest son, Jake, is obsessed with penguins. We played golf in Canada, which doesn't seem like a big deal until you're a 7 and a 9-year-old boy. In that case, it's like the coolest thing that's ever happened. They really, though, wanted everything to be in meters, which they were surprised that it wasn't. So there was just little things like that were just awesome, and it was. I would be a liar if I said that I didn't kind of tear up when we had the last game. I'm glad it was a close game. There was actually a guy on third base in the top of the 9th inning there in Seattle, and they ended up stopping him and winning because we wear the attire of whatever team we're cheering for. So, you know, we made a lot of new fans, but I probably would have, you know, broke down a little bit more if not, because I knew that in a way it was a little bit of the end of their childhood, and I know with a 14-year-old son and an 11-year-old son that's going on 32, that you know, Dad's not as cool as he used to be. So being able to steal some of those moments was pretty awesome.
One more quick Zoom question from Reese Becker. Coach, how have you seen Lamarion improve the past few seasons and this summer?
You know, I think that he's got a chance to be one of our most improved players. He's more confident in what he needs to do from a scheme perspective. He's more confident from what he needs to do as a technique perspective. I think our corners coach, Teron Williams, has done an unbelievable job of helping him develop as a player, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. I'm hoping more people kick to him. Last year he didn't get the ball kicked deep to him a whole lot on kickoffs, so I'm hoping a few more people do that. Because I know what type of impact he can have with the ball in his hand as well. But, you know, he has really, really made some strides. I think I'm probably most proud of him. You know, he has over a 3.0 GPA in the classroom, and he'll get his degree this fall. So that's an unbelievable thing, too. And so I'm really proud of just the growth that he's had, and I'm excited to see his impact.
Thank you, gentlemen, and good luck this season.
I'd like to say one last thing. Want to root our guys on who are starting NFL camps. You know, we had 3 guys drafted, one of them here in New Orleans, but we have a lot of other guys in NFL camps. Just wanted to wish them luck. Obviously, I know that's what a lot of our guys are shooting for, and I'm proud to say that each one of those guys has their degree from Old Dominion, so I'm excited about that too. So, you know, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for them, and just want to wish them luck. So, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for this opportunity.
At 11:30 a.m. with the Eagles of Georgia